Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be providing a long-term market analysis update for EGLD. I'm going to be talking about some very key levels of support and resistance, some key moving averages on the weekly and daily charts, as well as the EGLD Bitcoin ratio, which is really starting to show some bullish signs of a potential longer-term reversal, which is going to be very key playing out into the next few months. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, feel free to check out our sponsors in the link in the description below. This channel is partnered with FTX.US. It's a great cryptocurrency exchange, and again, you can check them out in the link in the description below. So I'm going to start off here for EGLD on the weekly chart for the USD pair, and what I first want to talk about is these two moving averages, and I've been talking about these pretty consistently throughout my EGLD videos. But what's very interesting is the fact that we have had a move right back up into this region, retesting it for the first time ever since the rejection back in March. So look at how throughout the bear market, this has basically acted as some pretty strong resistance on all these moves up. All of these lower highs have come up to this region, forming a resistance off of these moving averages and then rejecting, forming lower lows. And you can see for EGLD, again, we have had that move right back up into this zone where we're currently testing this on the weekly chart. So a very key thing to watch out for into the next few months is if EGLD can start to break back above these moving averages and then reclaim them, because basically we have been below them holding resistance throughout the entire bear market. This again has been where the lower highs have formed off of. This has been the resistance on this weekly chart. Now, currently today, these range from approximately $55 all the way up to $68. It is a pretty significant range, but that is just based on the nature of this move. This big downtrend has resulted in the simple moving average coming down and the exponential starting to slope off here. So that is the key level of resistance to watch out for. The support is going to be this level I have outlined in yellow on the chart. It's going to be around $45. So as of right now, EGLD does have the potential for this double bottom pattern playing out, where on the weekly, the candles have come back down to this region around $45 on two occasions. This first move, the initial capitulation back in June, as well as this next move a few weeks ago in September, coming back down once again to retest this. Both have held as support, and on both occasions we have experienced some sort of bounce. So that is positive to see, and it's positive to see that we have continued to hold this level as support. Now going into the next few months, I really do want to see this continue to hold, and if ELGD starts to break back below this region, then I will start to target down somewhere in this region around $25 to $30 as our next support. But again, we have held it as support, we have bounced off of it, so now it's a matter of if we can reclaim these moving averages and start to break back above those. So now I'm going to switch over here to the EGLD Bitcoin ratio, which, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, is having some very bullish signs starting to play out, some very key and positive things going on with these moving averages. Again, the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA, the green and red moving averages. And what's very important to note is how these have also acted as strong resistance over the last several months. Okay, so initially, EGLD broke these in January, came back down, and then had this retest, this rejection in February. So EGLD on the Bitcoin ratio came right up to this level, rejected off of it, had another retest in March, and then it had consecutive retests following the next few weeks, coming up to this level again and again, unable to break above it, but in fact rejecting, forming lower lows, and then continuing to hold this as resistance until just this week, where basically EGLD has closed back above this region for the first time since December of 2021. So that's very significant to me. And what's interesting is the fact that we've also started to make a move back up to some of these highs, where if we go back earlier on to June, notice again how this is the level that we had resistance off of. And if I switch over here to a daily chart, just to get a little bit better perspective, again, we have come up into that region. We're starting to retest this zone where EGLD on the Bitcoin ratio has held resistance off of for multiple attempts, right? You can see this move in June, coming up into this region, rejecting, another retest right here in July, another rejection, and then again in August. And then we haven't really had a retest ever since. So now we're having the real possibility where if EGLD Bitcoin does start to break back above this region, for an example, coming up above, flipping it into support, this is going to be a very bullish sign, very positive sign that we are starting to reverse this longer term downtrend where EGLD basically peaked back here in November of 2021 and has been underperforming Bitcoin since. So a move back above this level, reclaiming that into support, is going to be very bullish, and it's going to be something I'm watching out for. And the catalyst for a move like that is again going to be this weekly chart where we have started to make our way back above these moving averages for the first time since losing them back in December, which is a positive sign. And this being bullish, this chart on the Bitcoin ratio would bring a lot of relative strength into the EGLD USD pair, and a breakout above this level of resistance on the EGLD Bitcoin ratio could really help EGLD start to make its way back above these moving averages, start to reclaim them, and then flip them back into support. Now, lastly, I do want to talk about the daily moving averages. So I'm going to switch over here to a daily time frame and just look at this moving average right here in blue. This is going to be the 100-day simple moving average. So I'm just going to clear all of these drawings. Now, this moving average has also been very important throughout the bear market. When EGLD first lost this level back in December, it flipped it back into resistance on this retest again in December, came back down, and then we had a failed move back above this, a deviation where we did have a first move back above it, but ultimately we came back down, couldn't flip it back into support, but instead we had this rejection right here in April, and that formed lower lows, and then we also had this rejection right here in August. But as you can see, EGLD has started to move back above this region, and this is a very positive sign because this is the first time we have a more convincing reclaim where, again, we have been consolidating over the last few days. We're starting to make our way back above this and starting to flip it back into support. So there are some positive signs starting to play out on the charts for both the USD and Bitcoin ratios. So I'm going to be watching out to see if we can continue to hold these regions into the next few weeks and start to have a move back up into some of those resistance areas. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, once again, check out our sponsors in the link in the description below. This channel is partnered with FTX.US. It's a great cryptocurrency exchange, and you can sign up through the link in the description below or through my referral code SNOWYCRYPTO. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.